Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Matilda. It's a tier 4 British medium tank and it's located on the northeast spawn of Province. Now it's under the command of Eric von Melniborn, or Melnibone? Melnibone I think it is. And this is a double header video because he's in the Matilda and that little Fifi in the background, the 105 LFH 18B2, is one of my alternate accounts. So you're going to see the battle from both perspectives. And that should make it interesting because this is a real clincher. Okay, battle's underway. Oh, and it looks like Elric has not come alive. Now he is. He's alive now. Okay. And he's started moving and looks to me like he's headed off towards the cap area. No, he's decided he's not going to go across the map. He's actually going to try and snipe from this side of the map. And that's a perfectly valid tactic if you can get good shots on the enemy. And he is actually spotting a few of the enemy right now. In fact, there's some to the south. And he's going to have shots at them. Oh, gets a shot into the Covenanter. Now, the Matilda doesn't do a lot of damage with each shot, but it does penetrate very well. And he's got a shot into the T-3485. And we're going to see that tank towards the end of the game. And there's a Churchill, a B1. He's going to get a shot on the Churchill. Yes, he does, but he doesn't penetrate. But the Churchill reacts to that hit. I think it hit him in the tracks. He did stop because I think he was going to try and take a shot, but he didn't know where the shot came from. He couldn't see Elric because Elric's behind the bushes and he's a long way away. He's outside the view range of the Churchill tank. Now he's trying to get a shot at that Covenanter, but he can't because he's actually around the corner. And he's pulling back to see if he can get a shot when he comes around the corner. He might be able to. Now that Covenanter is going to figure later on in the battle as well. At the moment, obviously, it's just a standard battle. Oh, lovely shot there. Gets around in. And he tracks him. And he's finished him off. Actually, it's not the Covenanter I thought it was. There must be another Covenanter on the enemy team. I think there may be. Oh no, it's not a Covenanter. That may be a different battle that I was referring to. But you can see there are some enemies he can hit, and there's one over the other side of the battlefield, Churchill 3. And it looks like the team are having a bit of a problem with him because he's holding out next to that house, which is making it very, very difficult for any of their tanks to get round the corner. In fact, he's actually getting fire on their tanks. Oh, got to wait for the aim to dial in. Fires around in, hits the house. Going for the Churchill. Oh, he gets a hit there. In fact, actually, the Arty rounds that are coming in from me. And he gets a hit there. That's one of my Arty rounds, I think, going in there. And I think, or maybe the one that hit the building. Another round comes in. Of course, the Fifi's got a very fast fire rate as well. Oh, good shot there. He tracked him. He's keeping him tracked, which is actually increasing the possibility that he will get the kill. He's retracking that Churchill every time he's getting a critical hit. Beautiful. He's keeping him tracked. And he got some damage there. He hit the hitbox. Still tracked, and you can see the Arty rounds are piling on in, and we kept firing, trying to kill the Churchill. And he's tracked him again. And now he's gone down. He got him in the hitbox that time. Lots of Arty rounds were coming in, and that held him in place, but we whittled down his health, and then Elric, as I'll call him, actually managed to get the kill. So he's got 386 hit points of damage and 292 of assist at the moment, and the 292 is actually from keeping that Churchill tracked, but he's joining us at the back of the map at the moment, and we're losing tanks further off down the this side of the map, the east side of the map. Now you can see, there's my Fifi there, and you can see me firing. I'm under the Fork U2 name, and there's an M41 HMC, and I believe we've also got a Gorilla, but there's an A20. No, it's a Sturmpanzer we've got, and the Sturmpanzer's just over there. But Elric's hiding in the trees, and we haven't got anyone to spot for us other than the 5916. The Sturmpanzer really can't spot because he's actually got very short range. And you can see that he's actually moving towards the cap area. And there's very little I can fire at the moment because there's not much I can see. We see our 5916 is actually taking some damage from the enemy Arty because he was stunned a second or so ago. And Elric's staying in the bushes near us. There's not a lot he can see from here. In fact, he's got the better... Well, I've got the better view range because I'm actually an Arty with 390 meters view range. But we can see that there's a T-3485 up ahead of us. But we need to have clean sight of him. And of course, we're in the bushes. So we do have obscured vision. And we need to stay in the bushes because after all, we are actually Arty. And we're very slow. Okay, he's hiding behind the rock at the moment, which is not helping us. So I actually do suggest to him to go spot for us. The 5916 has also come back, and he's at the back of the map. Which means actually the Arty are the furthest people forward, because everybody on the other side of the map has been wiped out. We know that there's a T-3485 up ahead, and we know that the enemy still has 7 tanks. We have 6, so they're 1 ahead at the moment. So Elric's going ahead. You can see that Matilda over across the valley. He's dialing in, and I'm targeting him. There he is, and he gets a hit. And the Matilda goes down into the dip, and I fire a round in, and the Matilda's been killed by me. So then the box tank goes over the edge, climbs down the cliff, falls onto the ground, and I fire a round in and wipe the box tank out. So 2 kills there. The enemy now has 5 tanks, we have 6. So we've got the advantage now. The 5916's gone down to guard the cap, and Elric's moving forward to see if he can spot, which is a great help to us. Even though he's a medium tank, and even though his view range is shorter than mine, the fact is we need to remain hidden, because if we are spotted, then we can easily be destroyed. Because we're very slow to move about, and quite big. Okay, there's the T-3485, and I think he proxy spotted him there. And that T-3485 is backing away, and I think I fire a round in at him as he's retreating, and you can just about make him out there. And the Arty round goes in, and I miss on that occasion. And Elric's going round. Oh, he's just been hit by the Grilla. The enemy Grilla's just got a shot at him. He's lost 129 hit points. So he's down to 65% of his health. But from this position, he can actually spot the T-3485 ahead. There he is. And as he's retreating, I fire a round after him. And we pick up some hit points off him. Now, Elric's going down to the cap area. And this is a bit of a risky move, but it pays off. As he's going down, we can see the Su-85 at the other side of the map. And Elric's looking to see if he can get a shot on that Su-85, but he can't. The Su-85 is cutting across the cap, and 2 of the Arty, or in fact all 3 Arty, fire at the Su-85, but we miss him. He's in the cap, but he's actually crossing the cap. They took out our 5916, so now basically it's just the Matilda, the A20, and 3 Artys. The Sturmpanzer, the Leffy, or the Fifi as we call her, and the M41 HMC. Now, I don't think Elric wants to proceed any further for the moment, because obviously if he goes past those gaps, then it's very likely that he'll be spotted by the enemy. Because we know that the enemy are looking for him. And in fact, actually, the Su-85 at this moment is down in the gap. The M41 goes down into the gap to try and kill the Su-85. And whilst the enemy's distracted, he moves forward, and the Sturmpanzer on the enemy team is spotted in the middle of the battlefield. And he gets a hit on the Su-85 over the other side. He's firing rounds in, and he gets some hits. So he's done some damage to the Su-85, at least 200 hit points of damage. And that actually becomes crucial later on. But for the moment, he's got the problem of that Sturmpanzer now. And if the Sturmpanzer's seen him, and I don't think he will have, because he got past the gap without the Sturmpanzer spotting him. Now, he can't see the Su-85. Well, in actual fact, the Su-85 is climbing the cliff at the moment, but he doesn't know that. Can't see anything around. Nope, it's got no shot on the Su-85. So the Su-85 appears suddenly because we're in the bushes. As I said before, we've got very poor view range because the bushes are obscuring our view. But we do spot the Su-85, and he appears amongst our midst and wipes out 2 of our number very, very promptly. But you're going to see that in a few seconds. At the moment, Elric is worried. There you can see the Su-85. He's up on top of the cliff now, and he's just taken out the A-20 and the Sturmpanzer. The Sturmpanzer's retreating behind me, but I've taken out the Su-85. And I'm moving because you can see the tracers from the enemy Arty firing at me. And in fact, actually, I'm receiving quite a lot of fire. And I lose some hit points, you can see there, from some of the rounds that are driving on in. And we're running out of time. It's now down to just over 3 minutes. And there's the Sturmpanzer. And he locks on and finishes off the Sturmpanzer. Beautiful. Okay, now he may have been seen, so he needs to go behind this rock. And I think that may have been enough time to go unspotted. Okay, now I've decided to move as well to get to the cap, because obviously my presence will be needed at the cap. So I've moved forward. I've only got 2 rounds of ammo left. And then the enemy T-3485 turns up. And I've been killed. So we know the T-3485 is behind us. And there's the enemy Grilla. Elric takes aim. He fires 1 round in, gets a hit. 2 rounds. 3, the third one bounces. 4 doesn't get that one. And the 5th one, he gets a 4th one in. So he's got 4 hits, or no, 3 hits on the Grilla. 150 hit points at least. But then he's spotted an enemy behind us. It's the M37. Oh no! Gets 1 in, 2 in. He gets hit by the M37. Fires the last one in and kills the M37. He's now capping. And he's in the bushes. But the bushes are a very obvious place to be. And of course the enemy Arty could actually fire at it. That Grilla knows where he is, because of course the M37 would have transmitted it. So he's going to go behind the rock here. And that will provide him with cover. He'll be in defilade. The Grilla cannot fire at him. So long, well, can fire, but he won't hit him because he's behind a very big rock. As you can see, the Grilla is trying to hit him and missing. It's just too difficult to fire a shell into this area from up on that hill. So the Grilla's going to have to come down. Okay, cap is proceeding. He's got 56 seconds to go. The big worry is the T-3485. He went off to try and kill the Sturmpanzer, and he's done so, but now he's got to make his way back. And another Arty round comes in, and this time it hits the rock, but it doesn't do any stun damage. Elric's moving forward a bit to keep into cover. He's only got 24% of his health left, but he's got plenty of ammo, 32 rounds, and it's just standard AP. He doesn't need APCR for this battle. 20 seconds to go. Now, one of the enemy is bound to turn up. Either the T-3485 or the Grilla. The question is which one? Oh, it's the Grilla! Here's the Grilla! And the clock's about to go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. He kills the Grilla! He gets hit by the T-3485, fires around at him, and then gets wiped out. But did he win? Did he win? Or did he draw? And it's a win! He won! He got an ace tanker, a fighter medal for getting at least 4 kills in the battle. He got 5 in total. A duelist badge for taking down 2 tanks that did damage to him during the battle. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his vehicle. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He actually got 8 in that battle. And he also managed to get a Dumitru's medal because he took out all 3 of the enemy Arty. He took out the M37, the Sturmpanzer, and the Grilla, which gives him the Dumitru's, which is a very welcome epic medal to get. And lastly, of course, because he capped out, he got an Invader. He capped out 1 and got at least 80 capture points in the process. So a very welcome medal haul, and he did win with a win 8 of 7,005. And that was a really great battle. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats of the team score. Well, he came away with the highest damage on our team, 1,153 hit points, but he didn't get the high caliber. That actually went to the Grilla on the enemy side. He managed to get the high caliber and a Confederate as well, 1,553 hit points. So some consolation for the Grilla, because that means he will get the extra XP and credits for courageous resistance, as they call it, for getting an epic medal when you lose a battle. So nice for the Grilla, but even better for Elric, because he managed to get 5 kills alongside myself. I also got 5, but Elric managed to get the higher base XP. He got 998. I only managed to get 639 off that battle. And of course, the T-34, who died, well, was still alive at the end, but he lost the battle because he did not kill Elric before the clock went out. And if he had actually killed Elric first, because Elric was the greater threat, then obviously I think the battle would have been slightly different. I'm pretty certain that the T-3485M was seduced in getting the Pascucci's medal by killing both of the remaining Arty. He killed me, and then he went to find the Sturmpanzer, and that was his undoing, because by doing that he only ended up with the Pascucci's and the Courageous Resistance award. He didn't get the win, and it was down to the fact that they needed to get to Elric to reset the cap before it completed. And of course the Grilla tried to do that, but he couldn't do it in time. And so congratulations to Elric. Let's have a look at the detailed report. Well, he fired 63 rounds in that battle, got 42 direct hits, 24 penetrations, did damage of 1,153 hit points, of which 688 were more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits during the battle, 2 were penetrations, 1 was a non-penetration. He also received 1 hit as a result of splash damage, and that was from the Grilla. He spotted 3 enemy vehicles. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 5 of them. That's 1/3 of the enemy team. He also did damage assistance of 383 hit points. And lastly, he managed to get 100 capture points by capping out and winning the game. On a standard account, he earned 19,448 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he ended up with 15,154 credits. He received 4 bonds during that battle, and it's not surprising really, because you get 3 bonds for the Dumitru's medal, and then you get 1 bond for the Invader medal, which is very nice indeed, because the Dumitru's is very difficult to get. He earned 998 base XP. There was no multipliers, so unfortunately that's all the experience points that he earned. But as I said, this is a double header. What we've got now is the replay from my perspective. And as you know, it's already a win. I'll just load the replay straight away and we'll go straight into the battle, and you'll be able to see exactly what happened from my view. Okay, and the replay is running. Won't be a few seconds before it's loaded in. Okay, here we go. I'll zoom forward to the start so you can actually miss out on the usual spiel. Okay. And you can see Elric just ahead of me. He's in the Matilda. There he is. A short distance away. Well, I'm backing into the bushes. And obviously I'm trying to pick the best bushes to fire from. And there's plenty of cover around here. I've got the M41 to my left and the Sturmpanzer's just ahead of me. And I'm being very careful not to knock any trees down. Okay, I found my firing position. And I'm now looking to get shots on the enemy. I have a look down that driveway and I can see somebody has gone up there already. It's the Type 64. I'm trying to judge when to fire a round to hit him. And he slows down just a little, and that round would have hit him if he'd been slightly over to the left on the normal path and he hadn't slowed down. And I can see a T-34 also coming up. He's turned the corner, trying to judge when to fire the round. Round out. No, didn't get a hit. Right, we've got a couple of enemy here that have got tied up down below. T-34-85, and that's the one who survived the battle but lost it. And we've got a Sherman 3 trying to make his way up. I'm trying to put another shot on the T-34. I land it near him. We've got a T-34 who's managed to make it up to the top, and the Largo's blocking him from going up top. I fire a round in, get a direct hit on his engine bay, wipes him out. 334 hit points. And we've got a Type 64 spying round that corner. Now, I'm indicating him as my target, but he's moved away. And I'm wondering if he's double bluffing. So I fire a round in just in case he was double bluffing. And no, didn't get any result. But we can see a Sherman 3 and our Largo's gone down. So I'm dialing in on that Sherman 3. Rounds out. And it lands harmlessly next to him. I have a quick check on the Type 64. And we've lost sight of the Sherman. No, I fire a round in where I think the Sherman might be. There's very few people spotting down that end, and I can see a T-34-85. That's the same T-34-85, and I get a hit on him over the rock into him. The shell must have grazed over the top of the rock as it went, and I fire another one in just in case I can catch him as he retreats. And no joy. Okay, now I'm looking for a target. Nothing over this side of the map, and at this moment Elric has actually spotted the Churchill on the other side of the map. I fire one round in at the bush, and then I'm re-aiming at the Churchill 3 on the other side. You can see if just a very narrow corner of the Churchill is visible to me. I fire one round in, and it lands next to him. And more Arty rounds are arriving. We've got a Wolverine down there spotting him, and I get a hit. 29 hit points off that one. Next round's out. Now, you haven't got an inexhaustible supply of shells in this tank. I've actually carried mostly high explosive, 2 rounds of heat ammunition and 2 rounds of armor piercing. Rounds out. And I get a hit on the Churchill. 50 hit points. Rounds out. Hits the building again. RNG, I'm afraid. And of course Elric is continuing to track the Churchill, and he's just sitting there with only a few hit points left. Next round's out, and that one got close, but we lost the Wolverine. He was taken out by the enemy's Sturmpanzer. Rounds out, and the Churchill goes down to Elric. Okay, now we're looking for a target. One was seen, the enemy Matilda was seen over there, and we've got a Type 64 just over the corner there, but the Sherman's come into view. I'm dialing in, Oh, no, that was a little too soon. Dialing in on the Sherman, and he's killed. There's the Type 64. Tries to come around the corner. Trying to get a shot on him as he's hiding behind that building. Is he backing away? Rounds out. Oh, no, he doesn't back away all the way. If he'd actually moved further back, I would have caught his engine bay. So we've lost sight of them now. I thought I might be able to get a blind shot in there, but I'm actually very low on ammo now. I've only got 14 rounds of HE, and there's the Type 64. He's come forward. I fire a round in and wipe him out. 62 hit points. So that's my second kill. Now, I'm going to counter battery now. Since there's no other enemy in sight nearby, I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can spot the enemy. Now, normally people hide behind this rock here, but occasionally they'll go into the bushes. And there's the tracer. And I actually misjudged exactly where he was. It's actually slightly further back. So that shell would have exploded in front of the enemy Arty that was there. So I missed the chance there. And I'm waiting for the tracer to appear again. I've only got 11 rounds of HE left. Oh, and an enemy tank has appeared. The T-3485 has appeared. And one of our tanks, the 5916, is moving back. He's retreating. And I don't think I spotted that at the time. But I have spotted it now. Okay, I'm aware that the T-3485 is just around that corner. And he could be trying to come up onto this area. Now at this point I actually asked the Matilda to go spot for us, because I'm not sure that anybody's close enough to actually see the T-34 if he actually pokes his head up. So I say, Matilda, go spot. Or spoot actually, I say. And Elric actually helps out by doing that. But then we see the Matilda on the enemy side, and he's headed down through the trees towards the cap. And I fire a quick round in, and that one misses. But then the Matilda goes down the cliff face, and of course he's tracked himself now and rounds out, and he's toast. 39 hit points, and there's the box tank's doing the same. Fire a round out, trying to catch him in midair. He's stationary, he's tracked, he's got very low hit points. Round out, and he's dead. I got hit by the enemy griller though, that's the problem. I lost 140 hit points with that shot. I've only got 260, so I'm down now to 46% of my health. I'm trying to back away without making it dangerous for the M41, and I don't want to be near the M41 because the M41 could fire his gun, in which case then I would be spotted by virtue of the M41's tracer. So I've moved into a different bush a little further away, and Elric's moving forward. He's actually doing some spotting, and I see the T-3485, and I mark the target, and I fired too soon, and I've only got 6 rounds of HE left. I fire another round in, but the T-3485 is moving away, so I readjust my aim to try and get a shot at him. I can just about make him out. Fire a round in and get a hit. 91 hit points on him. But we've lost sight of him. And that's when Elric got hit by the enemy griller. Now I think he got hit by the enemy griller because he was proximity spotted by the T-3485. And now that he's around the corner, he's safe. But the T-3485 has gone further down the road, and I'm trying to work out where I need to fire to get a shot into him as he retreats. Now, rounds out. Oh, it just lands to one side of him, but he did lose some hit points to the 5916. And another round goes in, but we can see the Su-85 on the other side of the map. And all of a sudden I change my aim, but we lose the 5916 to the Su-85. And I'm dialing in on the Su-85. He goes over the edge just like the other tanks, but this time he survives. He picks the right spot to go. We both fire onto that same position where we thought he was, in the bushes. He's gone into the cap. And then he pulls back out of the cap again, because because I think he realizes that he can't be seen from where we are. So long as he skirts the outside of the cap, we don't know he's there or where he is. For the brief time that the siren sounded, it's obvious that he didn't stay in the cap. He's gone around the outside. If he'd stayed in the cap, we would have got a much longer siren. And we can't see him, so I'm now down to 2 rounds of HE. And at this point, we can see the Su-85. I dial in, and I got reticule bloom. I fire a round in, and I got a near miss on the Su-85. But at that moment, I get the Sturmpanzer in view. Elric's moved a bit further down the road. I'm trying to dial in. I fire a round prematurely, and it misses the target. So now we've got the Su-85 coming up, and I've got no rounds of HE left. 2 rounds of heat ammunition, 2 rounds of AP. And for heat and AP, you must get a direct hit in order for it to count. So I'm dialing in my aim on that rise, expecting him to come into view very, very shortly. I don't really want to get too closer to, because if I get close to the edge, the enemy Arty, we just heard one of their shells, will see me and they will immediately fire at me and counter battery me. Now Elric's down on the road running down to the enemy cap. And we're sitting here waiting for that enemy to appear. And what we don't realise is the Su-85 has actually climbed up the hill. He's climbed over the edge and we didn't see him. And he's just going around the corner and he's about to see the A-20 and shoot him. Yes, there was some damage just to the right there. I don't know if you saw that. Fence went down. And that, yes, there's the fence has gone. And that's because the Su-85 is in our midst. There he is. So I've gone to manual aim. Locked on. Fire a round in, but it doesn't penetrate because I don't get a direct hit. I'm dialing in as he approaches. And this time round it works. 19 hit points. He's out the game. Heat round goes straight through his front armour like a knife through butter. And the enemy Arty are firing at me. But all I've got left now is armour piercing rounds. And they hit me. The gorilla gets a hit. 54 hit points and he's stunned my crew. That was a near miss. A splash. And there's another round from the enemy Arty. And the Sturmpanzer's been spotted again. And he's been taken out the game, killed by Elric. And I'm going to try and join Elric to help him with the cap. Of course, 2 tanks can cap a lot faster than 1. And I've also got a pretty good view range, 390 meters view range. And the players who are already dead are now suggesting we cap. And then we see a tree go down to the left there. And that was the enemy. There's the T-3485. I've locked on. And he's hit my track. I fire 1 round in and he kills me. 66 hit points from that 85mm gun. And you can see where my armor pierce, my HE rounds landed on his front plate earlier in the game. That was the explosion when I fired over the rock and hit him, forcing him to back down the path. But Elric is now headed for the cap. And we can now follow his view again. This is the external view. As I follow him, and there's the M37 behind him. And he turns to face him. 1 shot in. 2. Oh, 3 shots in. And finishes him off. Now we know that the gorilla's already been hit because Elric put some shots into him, but didn't manage to kill him. But he's going behind the rock, and that ensures that the gorilla cannot shoot him from this angle. As you can see, it's in perfect defilade there. The only way the gorilla would be able to hit him is if he was firing from a very long way away and the trajectory was different, that the shells were coming down near vertically. He'd have to be at the other end of the map in order to do that. In this position, he's perfectly safe from a short range shot. And the clock is ticking, and that's the 1 minute too, sir. So you can see there's very little time for old Elric to cap. He's only got a few seconds, and we've lost the Sturmpanzer on our team. He's been wiped out by the T-3485. And that T-3485 is rushing down here as quickly as he can. And I'm pulling back so you can see when the Gorilla appears. 27 seconds, 26, 25, 24. Clock's ticking down. Very tense. And you can see some destruction off to the right. So there's the Gorilla coming in. Here he is. He's appeared. And he's arrived. And Elric finishes him off. And there's the T-3485. And Elric's been killed. But not before he won the game. And the base was captured. Fantastic work. And you can see the end of result for me. It was only a third class tanker for Fort Hugh 2 in the 105 LFH 18B2. But I also picked up a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. I got 5. A battle buddy badge because I didn't do any damage to any enemy for at least 50 battles. And a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, I got 5 exactly during that battle. And a win 8 of 1744. Not as high as Elric's, his was considerably higher. So let's have a look at team score. Well, as you can see, Elric's right at the top of our table. He's got 1,153. I came in second with 746. We've both got 5 kills apiece. And the 5916, he managed a patrol duty medal for spotting at least 6 vehicles which were damaged. And he was the only one spotting them at the time that they were damaged. And he picked up 2 kills. When it came to base XP, Elric right at the top of the table, 998, then the 5916 with 639, and lastly me with 474 in third place. Let's have a look at detail report. Well, I fired 41 rounds from the Fifi. I got 10 direct hits, 9 penetration, and 10 splash. Damage of 746 hit points, of which 727 was at a distance of more than 300 meters. So you can see some of those hits were at very close range, only a few. I received 2 hits. One was a penetration, that was the T-3485. One was a non-penetration, that was the shot that went into the tracks. And I also received 2 hits as a result of splash damage, and both of those were from the Gorilla. I also damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 5 of them, which is 1/3 of the enemy team. And in fact, actually, it means with Elric, we killed 2/3 of the enemy team, 10 tanks. On a premium account, I earned 24,486 credits. And after repair and ammunition resupply, I took away 18,552 credits. I earned 711 XP, times 2 for the first victory of the day, and a bonus because the Fifi is a premium vehicle of 284, and lastly a personal reserve bonus was running for 100%, meaning I took away 2,417 experience points altogether. But I think it was incredibly exciting. It was such a last second win, and it all goes down to Elric actually, because he not only actually did go spot for us and actually helped us to identify and spot that T-34 as he was trying to come up onto the plateau, the Mesa area, to do some damage to us, but he did take some damage from the enemy Arty as a result of that, and then he went down and capped and won the game. And it's an incredibly brave thing to do, considering he knew that there was enemy on both sides of him and he didn't know which one was going to turn up first. But thankfully it was the Gorilla, and he managed to dispose of him, picked up the Dumitrus, then capped out as he did so and won the battle. And then of course the T-3485 killed him. So what an exciting battle. You rarely see battles like that these days, where it's so interesting from both sides. But I hope you enjoyed this replay, and if you did, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.